Hey everybody, it's Kenny K, and sorry for the bad row, but it's fucking cold. It's winter is coming, and it arrived. It's minus whatever now outside, and in my man cave. I wanted to do this in my man cave, but there's no good heating there. Tragedy Girls from 2017 gets a 6. It's a 5 from me. Directed by Tyler McIntyre. He apparently looked a little bit what he did. He was a writer for Five Nights at Freddy's. He also did a segment of VHS 99 called The Gawkers. Now I seen them all. I don't know what The Gawkers was again. Or was it about? No, I don't remember. I don't remember because VHS 99. That's 2 movies ago, I think. Yeah, because he had VHS Halloween now, and then he had VHS with the aliens, all everything about aliens mostly, and then I think it's before that one. I think it's the one with the SWAT team, the wraparound, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But before I start, please subscribe. It's free, and like if you like the video, and comment if you have something to contribute. So it's a movie about two girls basically who want to become famous on YouTube, TikTok, every social platform there is. And one is called Sadie, and the other one is Michaela. Now, they are going to, they're still finding their niche, but eventually they find their niche. And so let's start with the beginning. Sadie's making out with a boy, typical slasher setting. So the movie's genre is a lot of things. You got serial killer, you got slasher, you got horror, thriller, mystery, dark comedy. It's not really a comedy, more of a dark comedy. Um, a teen movie also with girls, high school and such. So she's making it's typical slasher setting. A bridge in the middle of nowhere, a car parked, a sports car, and Sadie's making out with a guy in the back. He hears something. She urges him to see what it is. Eventually, he goes to look and he gets a machete through the head. Now, and then, out of nowhere, this other girl comes out and tases the killer who killed the high school kid, tases him in the neck. And then the other girl, Sadie, comes out and tases him again. And then the other girl, who's called Michaela, says, "It doesn't work. He doesn't feel a thing." And then she says, "Damn eBay crap." Those are the little comedy things in there, and that they're constantly tasing him in the neck. Yeah, no, look, mine works fine. So, and then they're like, okay, they bound this killer up who apparently has been killing in this little community of. I don't remember the town was something like Rosendale or something, but they call him the Rosendale Ripper, and they caught him. So he's sitting on this chair, bound, and they have the body of the kid with the, you know, machete through his front head, lying on a table, bloody. And they want his advice. So they want to become serial killers. They want to become slasher killers or whatever. Okay, but they need advice. So they thought, oh, who better than the Ripper himself? The Ripper, of course, is has an IQ of 5, and he can't really complete a good sentence. And he's like, when they ask him, he's like, I'm gonna skull fuck you. I'm gonna rip off your head, eat your flesh, and skull fuck your brain.
Speaks?
So he's complete. He's a sociopath. He wants to kill them. He doesn't want to help them. So they put him in a barn eventually. Give him dog food and such things, and put a camera on him so they always can see. Now the kid apparently wasn't dead yet. So then we see the two girls, their actual sociopathic ways. They start to uh, Sadie puts a gag on his mouth, and Michaela pull, pushes his nose, so he's suffocating, right? And you can see on their faces they're like completely Stoian. I mean, they don't they don't care. So this listen, this movie, so it also has a lot of famous actors. These two girls, Brianna Hildebrand, is that Sadie, and then Alexandra Hip Ship, yeah, is Michaela. But we also got Dennis Quaid in there from Scream 5, um, and other movies. You the Ripper is Kevin Durant because I recognize them. His actual name's also Lowell, and they also have Craig Robertson in this one. This is the end, and that was also but I was more comedic, but there were gory moments in there, right? And he plays Big Al, a volunteer firefighter. They also at some point want to kill him, but he's pretty became big. He's fat but big, strong arms, and he's doing these bench presses. And then he at some point wants to become a vigilante. He's making a vigilante because he says the sheriff is doing crap and shit, and he's like rioting, right? And so they want to kill him, but it almost goes sideways because he's super strong, throwing these girls. They have these masks on, these fluorescent masks on, with like eyes like crosses and shit, the thing. Yeah, and then hoodies and black clothes, and and then fitness pants for tight fitness pants so they can move. And he's throwing them around. They're throwing dumbbells at him, and he takes one and he throws one, but he goes straight to the glass. So you can see he's strong, but he eventually gets it, a knife in the neck, and he's still alive. But then they push him on the bench, take the safety pin out, and then you hear Craig Robertson's famous scream that he also did in This Is the End. Is ah, and the bench falls on his face, and you see the face going into mush. So you got that in there. So you got that comedic side, but you also got that gory side. It's not like a movie like Shaun of the Dead, you know. It's way darker. The and there is then, but he got that little bit of comedy in there with his voice, and then, like I said, oh, it's eBay junk, and but you kind of hate these two girls. You hate them. Now they have Dennis Quaid, Jordan, helping them editing these because they're making these movies to put on, social network, and eventually they become famous as the tragedy girls. But they're what they want to do is that they let you see the crime, but they want to solve the crime. Yeah, and they want to come out as heroes, but are actually the killers. Because there's also a moment when they want to kill a famous cheerleader, and she's working in this woodwork class at school, but she falls with her head on a circle blade. So you see the, like I said, you see everything. It's really explicit gore. Okay, but you hate these two girls. Although these are the main leads. They are kind of repulsive. Um, and the thing is, Jordan, he doesn't know about the killing, right? He's just editing their clips, you know. But he's in love with Sadie, and Sadie kind of likes him too. But then at some point, Michaela doesn't like him, and he says, "You're just hanging around with him because his mom got killed," and then he does something. He takes Michaela's cell phone. He asks Sadie to come, but Michaela says, "I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him." So Sadie wants to do it, and she's almost ready to do it. She's in his bedroom, but at some point, Michaela sees that the Ripper is gone, so he got loose, and she sees the Ripper going in the house upstairs. He has his big duster on, you know, and uh, like a ski mask and the machete, but they're making out. So she doesn't want to kill him. Eventually, she drops her knife and she's making out with him. Then the killer comes in. He open. He's actually the son of the sheriff. The sheriff is sleeping downstairs. That shows that he's not up for this task. And I believe at some point Jordan gets a machete in the clavicle, but he's not dead yet. And Sadie starts to fight him a little bit, puts a knife in his foot, but then he follows her. Sheriff awakens, starts to fire bullets at him, and he jumps out a window and he's limping away. Michaela is following him. Now the thing is, the reason is how they know that he's there is because at some point they're holding this vigil for Big Al at night, and they see. Well, I think it was the fucking mayor of the town. Uh, so, if you remember, I never seen that movie because it's so horrible. And I mean horrible. I mean it's horrifying with animal cruelty, real animal cruelty, and raping, and the Cannibal Holocaust. The first found footage, by the way. That's a quiz question you can. If you ever do a movie quiz, it's from 1979, I believe. And there's this cannibal tribesman raping a woman, tribeswoman, but then he kills her by basically. It's one of the famous pictures that is on the cover of the movie, I believe. That he puts the pole through her vagina, through out of her mouth, puts her like that. And in this movie, you got the same thing on a flagpole. Of course, in this case, the female is wearing clothes, and then at that point, the tragedy girl says, "We didn't do that," and they see that the Ripper's gone, and that's how they know. Now, I want to talk a little. I do want to talk a little bit about spoilers. So if you don't want to, it's an okay watch, but you can't eat. The ending pissed me off. That's the reason why it gets a five. I mean, it would have given. I would have given it a five. I almost wanted to give it a 4.5 because of that ending. It's because these two girls kind of deserve to die, or like die together in a way or something, or get caught and go together to prison. But the thing is, they're BFFs and they always want to stay together, holding their hands. This and there's also a little bit of it got a little slow at points. too much talk, not enough action, and the humor didn't always fall for me. And yeah, and like I said, you are supposed to like these two girls, but you don't. I mean, they're fucking killers. So all for the for to profiteer as a famous YouTuber or whatever, TikToker. Um, so yeah, would I recommend this? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, if you like a little bit of dark humor, and then of course, yeah, for slasher fans, I would recommend it. For yeah, slasher fans and the occasional horror fan. If you like dark comedy, yeah, then yeah. But if you're like um, not into teen girls trying to kill people, no, stay away from this one because you're gonna get pissed off at these girls, and I got pissed off, and especially at the end. So spoilers from now on. So be warned, okay? Now eventually, Michaela and Sadie have a little spat. They go up. They go. Sadie becomes a hero, saving Jordan, the sheriff, and she's now in the spotlight. And she goes solo. Okay, you get the gist of it, right? Now Michaela wants to revenge. Has wants revenge, but she now includes the Ripper in her plan. So they're now a team, killing team, and it's prom night, and Sadie and Jordan go together. They become prom king and queen, and at that point, the Ripper and Michaela are there. Michaela kills her teacher, ripping her throat, slicing her throat, and stabbing her. And the killer says, "Now." So he wants to kill, but she said, "No, not yet." So eventually, Sadie sees Michaela, and she goes after her, and then they corner her with the Ripper, and Jordan eventually is also there. They're at this higher platform, and they're cornered, and the Ripper wants to kill both of them, and Michaela says, "No, not Sadie. I'll take Sadie. I'm gonna take them both. Remember the dog food she fed me? She fed me fucking dog food." So like this. But then eventually she wants a hole, and then he slices her, but she falls and shoots the guy in the head. So the Ripper's gone, and then she wants to shoot Jordan and Sadie, and there's, but you feel that Sadie's not 100% in her element. So eventually, Jordan is saying, "We gotta call the police. She wanted to kill me, and this and this and that." And no, we're gonna, and says, "No, no, we're not gonna call the police." And it's why Jordan says, I love you, I like you," and she hugs him, then she kisses him, and then she says, because he says, "I know you," and then she says, "You don't know me at all," and she puts the noose on his fucking head, drops, from the up from the upper department there. Uh, she drops him, and he's slowly suffocating. They put on their stupid, their stupid fluorescent masks, holding hands together, looking at him while he's fucking suffocating. And the kicker is that apparently, because he said that his mom was ruled an accident, not a killing. That's the reason why he took Michaela's phone. He thought it was suspicious. Now, apparently, what really happened was that Sadie and Michaela, when they were young girls, the mom of Jordan was driving them home, but they they kind of took the steering wheel, and or they did something to the mom, hit her in the head, and so she had an accident. She died, but Sadie and Michaela didn't. Michaela was crying. Like I said, Michaela wasn't on board yet in the beginning, but Sadie was smiling the whole time without a tear. So it's actually Sadie who is she's the top sociopath of them all. And so basically this Jordan guy who he's betrayed by his lover, betray they killed his fucking mom, which really made him insecure. And then they're killing him slowly and then watching at him hand in hand with their putting their stupid masks on. And then they become super famous. They want to make a movie about them, and they go to college, and they're going to open a new chapter. So you can already imagine this. So the ending is them driving away, putting their hands out of the car, yeah, doing like this, and they're going to college and kill up a few people there and become popular there. That's the end of the movie, and I hated that. So you already can't root for these two girls because they're despicable, but this makes them more so despicable. Killing Jordan, the movie should have ended like they get caught, they get killed together, shot together by the police, or they get caught together and go to prison together. But because that's the whole thing, there are always BFFs, and there will always be BFFs holding hand in hand. So let them die together or let them go to prison together. And in prison, they can become famous killers, right? And then they get their notoriety. But killing Jordan, then eventually killing his mom too, basically, apparently, when they were young girls. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. Uh, these are two real. Yeah, they're bitches. And actually, Sadie's the uber bitch. But we know because they they have some they do have some emotions, like if they like a boy, because Michaela at some point likes another boy too, but at the end, when they're bored with them, they're gonna kill them. So yeah, like I said, the positive of this movie is, and also it's not something we never seen before, a killing duo. That's So it's not original, but like Craig Robertson, Dennis Quaid isn't a bad actor. The acting wasn't bad. Got gory kills. So for the slasher gore hounds, uh, there are a few, like the Ripper's way of saying that they feeding me dog food. So, I mean, it's you have those comedic moments in there, but the negatives are you don't have any characters to root for. Yeah, you root for the victims, but they all die at the hands of the tragedy girls, and they get what they fucking want, and they go scot free, uh, and the sheriff resigns because he's gonna do some charity work. He says he's crying because he lost his fucking son and his wife by these two fucked up girls. So yeah, listen, it is what it is, and I didn't like that at all. So that's why it's a one-time watch, and I think I recommend it to give it a watch, see what you like. Um and what you don't like, and maybe leave it in the comments But for me, that's the last time I'm gonna see this. Tragedy Girls 2017. See you later.